just checking in today to kind of go over some stuff with you about this carnivore eating style. Trying to look at my cord under there. I was thinking about some things today, some things going on with my body, with the way I feel. And so I went back to Dr. Berry's YouTube video, and it's called Carnivore Diet Beginner's Guide, All You Need, 2021. I will post the link in the description. And you can go and watch it yourself, but I'm just going to hit some highlights here because some of these have really, they've had an effect on me. He talks about some of the really good aspects of it, of the diet, and things like you don't have a portion size that you have to weigh something out. You don't have to count calories. You don't have to count macros. You don't have any of those things. What he tells you is you eat meat of any kind, and you drink water, and you eat until you're full. And when you get hungry, you eat meat again, and you drink water until you're full. And it doesn't matter how many times a day or what time of the day, you just do that. So you're just comfortably stuffed. You eat anywhere from 1 to 3 meals a day. There's usually not any snacking, and I didn't believe that right in the beginning because I was really going through the withdrawals and stuff. But now, after a week and a couple of days, I'm starting to feel like, now I get it, because I'm to that point. I don't think about snacking. I think about my meal and learning the signs that my body is telling me that I need to eat something. That's been a struggle for me because I have a food addiction, okay? I used to, don't anymore, but I used to binge, and I was not a purger, or anything like that, but I binge ate. Like, if we brought ice cream into this house, I'd sit and eat it out of the container, it could be a half-gallon container, and I'd sit there and eat it out of the container. I didn't get a bowl. And so, and I know I have these issues. It's comfort. Food is comfort for me. And those are some mental things that I've dealt with and that I go through. But now, I don't have a need. I'm not feeling a need to do that. So now I'm beginning to wonder, well, is it really mental? Maybe this is different, And so I haven't wanted any snacks anyway. He said, you focus on your fatty meats, like a 1-to-1 ratio of meat to fat. 1 part fat, 1 part meat. And, of course, the main reason you have to have the fat is because that's where your energy is going to come from. Your body is learning how to, instead of burning carbs, and that's what causes the cravings, of course, when you eat sugar of any form, and then it digests, and, you have that high, you're full of energy, and then when it's done and processed, then you have the fall, the sugar drop, and so with your body now only being able to eat meat, it's learning to use the fat in your body for your energy rather than the carbs that were coming in, and because they would just settle in and become fat on your body. So he says eat 1-to-1 ratio because if you eat too much protein without the fat, then that causes a big long word that I can't even think to pronounce of what it is, but it will cause that, and it can cause death. So you definitely want to make sure you get plenty of fat. Fat is your lever. You eat the meat, but then the fat, you go up and down with the fat according to the other. Anyway, he's a doctor. He explains it better. And here's something that I was always concerned about. And I know even when I went on keto and I researched, I couldn't find any information on it. I don't have a gallbladder anymore. Mine burst in the operating room, unfortunately. But it was just sick. And so they took it out. And I really, really, really had some issues with going to the bathroom. And if this is TMI, then just turn it off and go away, because I'm fixing to talk about the down and dirty right now. I've had incidents, trash pants or whatever you want to call them. But yeah, I've had some fecal incidents in public, and it's really embarrassing, and it's not anything I'm proud of, trust me. But it's been ever since I had my gallbladder removed that I've had this problem. I never, ever, ever had that problem until that time. And then it was like all the time. And then I finally got to a point where I recognized in eating my keto, well, maybe it wasn't even then, I recognized that every time I ate vegetables, I would get the runs. And so I thought, well, I wonder if there's some kind of correlation between that and that. Well, sure enough, he explained it. Dr. Berry explained it. And he says, let's see, he says, when you have no gallbladder, you got to give your liver time. And this is even for people that do have a gallbladder, okay? And what I'm fixing to explain here is that you have to give your stomach and your gallbladder and your liver a chance to learn this new eating style, because you're eating in a different way and your body is processing all of the food a different way, and it takes a few weeks for it to adjust to the fact that you're not feeding it all that fiber anymore with the carbs, with the vegetables, with the fruits. You know, all you're giving it is meat and fat, and it's having to learn and retrain itself how to process all of this and eliminate. So what he says about people who have no gallbladder is you have to give the liver time to develop the storage capacity in your bile ducts to dilate. So they will get bigger to accommodate the fat that you're putting into your body. And that way it can be working very similarly to your gallbladder, the way it worked. Because that's what the gallbladder's job was to take away all the fat and stuff. So now your liver's going to do that. So anyway, he says it takes a few weeks for it to happen, and you might have diarrhea until the bile ducts have the capability to store the fat like the gallbladder used to do. So there we go. That explains the reason why, since I started this, I've had the scours, and I've done a lot of trots to the bathroom in a hurry, because it just hits. You don't know when it's gonna hit, when it's gonna quit. It doesn't hurt, you know. It's not like if you ate something and it really caused your stomach to hurt and stuff. No, it's not like that. It's just boom, it's there, and it's gonna come out whether you want it to or not, and it's like water. So anyway, this is like, you need to know this. If you plan on doing this, you need to know it, because I had to go on my group that I'm in, and I had to ask the question, you know, how long is it before I get rid of the scours? Well, Dr. Berry says it with most people, of course everybody's different, but with most people he said it takes a couple of weeks, and then you'll be done. So today, yay, I have it solid. Okay. You cook in animal fats only. Of course, you don't use any kind of vegetable oils or olive oils or any kind of seed oil is basically what he says. You use plenty of salt, clean out your pantry, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, those are just some of the things that he talks about drinking lots of water, um, getting to know your butcher, which is very helpful, because if you get to know them and they like you and you like them or whatever, you know, you may find out that they've been throwing away fat cuts off their meat when they're doing their butchering. And if you can find out that they're throwing it away, maybe they'll give them to you, and then you can in turn use that. You can use that for tallow, or you can use it for beef stock. You know, make your own bone broth and that kind of thing. So that would be a good thing to know. If you have local farmers who sell fresh eggs, you know, because he recommends that you use as best quality food you can get your hands on, like grass-fed beef and, you know, fresh grown chicken eggs, duck eggs, whatever kind of eggs you can get a hold of. And that kind of thing, and milk. Get fresh milk, raw milk, instead of, you know, bought milk. But he said it's not mandatory that you do that. You eat what you can eat and afford to eat. Like, we don't have a lot of money. We're retired. So I eat hot dogs sometimes. I eat a lot of hamburger patties, which it's a good thing. I really like them. I eat canned meat. You know, like the little Vienna sausages that you get canned. I eat those. I eat Spam. I eat chicken, you know, canned chicken. Of course, chicken don't have very much fat, and I don't do that very often because I crave the fat. I'm finding this out. But, you know, if I eat some bacon with it, there's my fat. So I'm good. Yeah, you just eat what you can. You know, whatever you can afford, then you can eat it. And that's why, you know, I hear people say, and I even said it myself, that can't afford it. You know, can't afford to have an all-meat diet. Meat's the most expensive part of the meal. Well, yeah, it kind of is, you know, when you're putting all the other stuff with it. But I don't eat the vegetables anymore. The biggest problem I'm having is trying to remember to cook for my husband because I'm not hungry anymore. And the poor guy, he's sitting there foaming at the mouth because he's so hungry. And so I feel really bad. Like today, it just totally slipped my mind. And he said about 1:30 or 2 o'clock, he said, so when we gonna eat? So anyway, sorry, George. Focus eating on beef and sheep and goat and venison and he called it ruminant. I'm not sure what that word means. Something with 2 stomachs. That's what he said. For your optimal results, just eat that kind of food. Honor the animal. Don't let there be any waste. Just eat it from head to tail. You know, learn how to boil up the bones and make the bone broth, because the bone broth is extremely healthy. You know, learn how to eat the organs. I mean, personally, I love liver, so I don't have a problem eating liver. And I actually would like to learn to eat some of the other parts, even though they kind of sounded disgusting to me several years ago. But now I'm like, you know, I think I might like to try it. I know my brother, he eats oxtail and kidney and that kind of stuff, so maybe he can teach me something about that. But anyway, then there's another lady, another link in the bottom that I'm going to put for you, from the Steak and Butter gal, and she's got some of the pros and cons after she has been on carnivore for 19 months. And she was a vegan for 9 years before she switched over to this style of eating, because, and oh my God, I watched that video today, and man, has she changed. I mean, the physical changes in her are amazing. Her skin, she used to have terrible acne, and now her skin is like flawless, and she doesn't even wear any makeup or anything. So anyway, like, here's her pros. Simplicity. Just one thing you gotta fix to eat, that's it. So that means less shopping, you know, less waste in the refrigerator because you didn't eat it before it went bad. It gives you high energy. You gain muscle and you lose fat. You have perfect skin. It gets your hormones balanced. Like if you're going through the change, I've heard several people in my group talk about this. You know, if you're in the change and you start to do the carnivore, it'll take away all of the symptoms of menopause. You have a faster metabolism. There's no bloating, which that's the first thing I've noticed is the bloating has started to go down big time on my stomach, which is where a lot of my fat settled, you know, is right there in the middle. And I've noticed that I don't feel bloated either when I eat. It can also heal illnesses such as Hashimoto's, migraines, inflammation. There's tons and tons and tons of people who were pre-diabetic before they went on carnivore. They don't have any problems with it now. They're not. They're not. People who have even had diabetes. There's one in particular. He's been keeping a spreadsheet on his readings on his glucose and everything. He took his spreadsheet into his doctor and he said, "Here you go, doc." And they were absolutely fascinated by the fact he'd been on carnivore for over a year and he'd gotten his glucose, blood glucose, down to normal in doing this. So, you know, I'm standing by. This may be the cure for diabetes, is what I'm thinking. Okay, so back to this. Her cons, here's the cons, because there are cons for eating this way. It's not for the impatient people who expect immediate results. It's not for calorie counters or weight obsessors or quick fix type people, the ones who want it now and they want it all. Okay, it's not for you if you don't have the patience to do this and take the time, because this process is healing your body. This is not a process to lose weight. It's to fix your body, to get your body back where it needs to be. Number 2, con, weight gain may occur while your body is stabilizing. And that's okay, because if you're willing to wait it out and if you have patience, it will go away and you will lose. You know, we don't know how long because every individual is different, but it will happen. It's not for variety seekers, for people who like a lot of variety in their foods. If you like a lot of variety, you might as well do something different, because you're not going to get a lot. You get meat and you get water, cheese and dairy, and that's, you know, sour cream sometimes, you get a little whipping cream sometimes, you get cheese, you get, you know, that kind of thing. And other than that, you're not going to get that. So it's not for huge foodies who like to eat out a lot, you know, go to different restaurants. If you go to restaurants where they don't have just a meat item that you can eat, then it's probably not going to be easy for you. A con is going to the bathroom, running to the toilet, because your body is adjusting for the lack of fiber. And it's not really for alcohol drinkers, because if you like to drink that beer, if you like to drink that whatever, wine, you know, and if you're really one to want to drink every night after work or whatever, you know, it's probably not for you, because you can't have it, because it's got sugar in it, and you can't have sugar. So anyway, I've talked long enough. I think that's about all I've got right now. Please check out the links, and I hope that you will continue watching as we go down this road, follow this journey. And as you can see back here, I started on that painting. I got some work done yesterday. It's not done, obviously. But hey, I had lots of energy yesterday, and so I'm loving the way I'm eating, and I'm hoping that, you know, maybe I give some good information to somebody that they want to try it. So, okay, thanks a lot for listening. Bye.